I'm trying to be great, and I'm on my way. Way up, way up, way up. It's never too late, and I'm on my way.
I'ma leave my mark. Ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Ready, set.
With so much negativity being yielded at the youth of our nation, it seems hard to find any signs of a bright future. Coming from a legendary past, the new generation of Bahamians seek to take this nation to heights it's never seen. That's where the youth perspective comes in. We seek to display tomorrow's leaders in every facet of society. Each show will focus on today's pace-setters, trendsetters, movers and shakers, and the next generation of great, impactful Bahamians. We seek to uplift, motivate, and encourage our listeners. Tune in as we address issues of importance with wisdom and intelligence, all from the youth perspective.
Life is hard. See, it's hard when you're 49 years old, been working on a job for 17 years, and they come in and tell you you're finished and give you 1 week severance pay. And you got to start all over again. It's hard when you're married and raising children and your children are crawling and your husband dies unexpectedly. It's hard handling just the tragedies of life. It's hard when you're working on something and you put everything you have in it and it doesn't work out. You lose your money and other people's money. It's hard. It was rough when I lost my job and I could not find a job. It was humiliating and embarrassing, borrowing money, and then I couldn't pay the money back when I told them I would. That's rough. How people look at you, how they respond to you. It's very hard. It's humiliating. Here's what I discovered that happens to you in life, that you will go through things, and while you're going through them, you can't understand why it's happening to you. But after you go through it, you get back and you look at it and you say, oh, now I understand why I needed that lesson. Have you ever happened to you? Raise your hand. Has it ever happened to you that I couldn't understand it then, but after I got through it, then I saw that was preparing me for bigger and better things. As you go through the challenges of life and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. See, most people want it easy. See, easy come, easy what? Easy go. See, but when you go at what you're going to deal with and you deal with the difficulties of it, when you handle those hard things close at hand, making those hard decisions right now that you don't want to make, learning those things that you don't like to do, but you know that in order for you to get where you want to go, this is one of the hoops that you have to flip through. And I'm saying to you, whatever you got to do it, because if you don't, life is going to whoop you until you surrender and say, okay, all right, I cooperate, okay, I learned, okay. It had to wear me out a long time. So if it's hard, then do it hard. Now, how do you hang in there during the hard, difficult times? Les, you must have faith. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities. You've got to believe in your service, your company, your ideas, unquestionably. You've got to have faith, and that faith gives you patience. That it's not going to happen as quickly as you want it to happen. A lot of things are going to happen that will catch you off guard. And so therefore you've got to deal with and handle it as it comes. And not only that, but that faith and patience drives you into action. You've got to keep moving and keep plugging away. In the Far East, they have something that's called the Chinese bamboo tree. The Chinese bamboo tree takes 5 years to grow. They have to water and fertilize the ground where it is every day. And it doesn't break through the ground until the 5th year. But once it breaks through the ground, within 5 weeks, it grows 90 feet tall. Now the question is, does it grow 90 feet tall in 5 weeks or 5 years? The answer is obvious. It grows 90 feet tall in 5 years. Because at any time, had that person stopped watering and nurturing and fertilizing that dream, that bamboo tree would have died in the ground. And I can see people coming out talking to a guy out there watering and fertilizing the ground that's not showing anything. Hey, what you doing? You've been out here a long time, man. And the conversation in the neighborhood is, you growing a Chinese bamboo tree, is that right? Yeah, that's right. Well, even Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder can see ain't nothing showing. You know that's how people are going to do you? So how long you been working on this? How long have you been working on your dream? It's good. And you have nothing to show. This is all you got to show. People are going to do that to you. And some people, ladies and gentlemen, they stop. Because they don't see instant results. It doesn't happen quickly. They stop. Oh, no. You got to keep on watering your dream. And when it began to happen, they stopped laughing. They said, look. Whoa, look here. Look how. Hey, man, you know, I know you can do it. Look here, you got a job here? See, during those hard times, we didn't know how you're going to make payroll. During those times when you failed and things didn't work out, they were nowhere to be found. But you know what I discovered? When you're working at your dream, somebody said the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. Oh, it's sweet to you. It's good to you. Why? See, when it's hard and there's a struggle, see, what you become in the process is more important than the dream. That's far more important. The kind of person you become, the character that you build, the courage that you develop, the faith that you're manifesting. Oh, it's something that you get up in the morning, you look yourself in the mirror, you're a different kind of person. You walk with a different kind of spirit. And people know that you know what life is, that you have embraced life. You knew it was hard, but you did it hard.
And of course, we're back. Yours truly, Keshagen, Adderley, in your company. And ladies and gentlemen, back again for another edition of The Youth Perspective every Saturday at 8 p.m. And we do our best to give you brand new shows every Saturday. And of course, we've been doing very well with that lately, being able to give you some fresh shows, different perspective, having some different people on. And of course, we have a good friend that joins us every so often to kind of let us know what's going on in his area of the vineyard. Well, he's back, and you know, it's almost that time of the year again, and we're getting ready to talk about it right here, right now on The Youth Perspective. So make sure, get a little close to the radio, or if you're listening to us via the TV, turn the TV up to the maximum, all right? We have the one and only Pastor RICARDO Miller in the studio. How you doing? Welcome to The Youth Perspective again.
Man, it's good to be back, Keshagen. Listen, I believe that the number of times I've been on the show, people have told me, hey, man, I listened to you, bro. You was bringing it. You was bringing it. So it feels good to be back home. I'm excited about what we got going on in a few months here in the Bahamas for young people.
Right. Now, before we get into that, what's been going on with you?
Man, I've been traveling. I've been making some adjustments to my platform. Writing a new book that's coming out in September. And just really learning how to coach people, how to duplicate myself. Realize I can't do it all no more. I'm not as young as I used to be, and I ain't that old, but I definitely need to learn how to spread out my skill set through the development of other people to be able to have a higher level of success in reaching young people through other people. So I'm really big on team building right now. I'm big on leadership. I'm big on the execution of an organization. How well are we doing what we're doing? And so that's what I've been doing. So on the back end in the States, I've been doing a lot of consulting work with churches like with Dr. Tony Evans. I was over at Lakewood Church, over there at Rick Warren's church. Just a lot of work with a lot of leading churches that are, so a lot of them are doing it right, but then a lot of them also are discovering there are areas where they're having limitations, and they're wanting to figure out all of it. It's possible to have the whole thing to work.
Right.
But what has happened, Keshagen, is a lot of people have allowed their experience to become their reality.
Yeah.
In other words, they say, you know what? You can't tell me young people today ain't listening. You can't tell me they ain't into church. And that's not quite true. It's maybe your experience. Well, we opened the door and they didn't come.
Right.
Well, there's so much other things I could say on why they're not coming.
Yeah, and the thing about young people, I think what people have to understand is that they change, they shift.
Most certainly.
I mean, in 2 years, the things, not even in 2 years, a couple of months, what you were using for them, which have to change and you have to upgrade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was doing a training a couple of weeks ago, and I told them in my studies I've discovered that my coach, I'm working with this program, and they said, if you became hugely successful 5 years ago, listen to this, if you became hugely successful 5 years ago through a particular method, if you use that same method today at the same level of intensity, you would not become successful.
No.
Because the methods has shifted.
Yeah.
It has shifted that much. As a matter of fact, stuff that people paid thousands of dollars for 5 years ago are now free. They're free through apps. Years ago, you would have had to hire a company to come in and do certain things. Now you can get a free app to download to actually do something. Right. So the rate of change in our society is moving so fast. And then we have a traditional, smaller culture that moves a little bit slower. And when it comes to the seasoned people, they're not quite getting it. And young people are moving with the trends of the world. Yeah. And the problem is the respective people at the front of the line, or the leaders per se, they're wanting the young people to grow as they instruct. But the truth is, growth now is no longer predicated on the instructor only. Years ago, you only knew what the teacher taught you. Right. Now you can learn beyond the teacher and eventually challenge the teacher in the class, because if you that sharp, you could do a research on YouTube, and you could do some Google search and mess a teacher up the next day.
Fine, every day.
You understand what I'm saying?
The rate of change is just lightning.
It's shifted so much. And so I'm excited about the future, because I think we're living in the best season ever. Right now, I could be here talking to you, and we can go live, and the people in my office in Dallas could actually be a part of this conversation. Yes, sir. That's where we are. Right now, we can document this moment, and 25 years from now, our children's children will be able to look back at our conversation, when the truth is, to go back on communication 25 years ago, it's so much harder. You know what I'm saying? So everything is changing, and unfortunately, we live in a society where if it's changing beyond what we used to, we call it bad. Right. And so we bash the fact that the change is so fast, and our inability to grow with the level of change, that we now saying, you know what, I don't like social media. Social media is the devil. You know, TV one time used to be called the one-eyed devil. Right. You know what I'm saying? So now people are bashing social media. Now people are bashing the tablet and the phones. Now people are bashing, you know what I'm saying, children's attention span. Everything's changing, and you just got to understand, when TV came about, it changed our society. When radio came about, it changed our society just as well. The internet has showed up. When I went to school, they were talking about shifting from typewriters just to computer. We didn't even talk about internet yet. Now the internet is here, and they're going into new places. Right. Now in Dallas, they have Uber Air coming. And I think in the next 2 years, they're testing Uber Air. That's like the Jetsons, man. It's like, you remember the Jetsons?
Hold on, you mean a plane is going to pick you up, or
no,
like
it's
helicopter?
A car. It's like a car
okay.
with a helicopter model.
Wow.
Okay, but they're landing on top of buildings, and they're using the buildings as stop spot. So they're saying a 30-minute drive to the airport is going to be turned into a 10-minute drive flight.
Wow.
Right? It's all about time, man.
Yeah,
it's all about time. Seconds, minutes, and hours.
it.
The truth of the matter is, when you're a professional and you understand the value of time,
yes, sir.
I teach that time wasted is time you'll never have again. So all of this is about time, you know. Years ago, you had to record something, and then you had to translate it, convert it over to another machine. Then you had to do some editing. Nowadays, you can go live, and the world can see you instantly.
Yes, sir.
Everything is changing.
Yeah, don't fight against it. Just use it to your advantage.
Educate yourself and understand that everything, once it came in as a new model that everyone started to embrace, has the ability to be abused. You know, everything can be abused, everything. And you got to learn how to manage it. You got to get ahead of it. What happens is, as a society, we're reactive. You see, we're not proactive, we're reactive. And I believe, working with young people for more than 22 years, one of the things that I've discovered is when you show yourself to a young person, to our young people in general, that you're not connected and you're not relevant, they start dismissing the little truth that you have to give.
Wow.
They throw you out with your little truth as well. So they throw the baby out with the bathwater. You say, well, I'm trying to tell you something that's good for you. Well, the last 4 things you said to me was wrong. You know what I'm saying? You ain't get it. So I'm actually not going to listen to you at all. And there are a lot of parents listening to me that is experiencing that right now. There's a lot of leaders. Listen, man, we have a generational disconnect in this country that you can't believe, man. Look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. The classrooms are crowded, overpacked. Okay? All of the schools are talking about classrooms packed. And Sunday school classrooms are dwindling. Youth ministries on Friday nights and Saturday, they can't fill up a good bus unless they give out free pizza.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Movies or something like that.
Unless you go into the movies or something like that. And guess what? Even when they do show up, you can tell these are kids that are not connected. Okay? The vast majority of churches, even if they had 300 adults in their church, let's just say 500 adults in their church, they could not pull 200 kids or 100 kids strong on the same Sunday morning. I'm talking about kids whose parents are in that church. You know why? Because the kids are so disconnected. The mom and dad is in the church, and they left their children at home sitting down on the porch, just hanging out with their friends or on their tablet and so forth in their room, sleeping, playing computer games. Because the disconnect of what faith has done in relations to reaching young people has really fallen. Has fallen at a rate, and we're in denial a lot. We're in denial to say, you know what, well, God's going to fix this. You know what I mean? God put us here to do something about it, man.
Yes, sir.
Faith without works is dead. You know what I'm saying? This is not a God thing. This is a lack of ability thing when it comes to individuals not being able to perform God's way in the earth. That's a big one right there.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with what God is capable of doing. It is us who are refusing to bring ourselves up to the skill level to be best kingdom representatives when it comes to performance. So you could be a God kingdom person.
Yeah.
Love the Lord with all your heart, but your skill could be weak.
Yeah.
You could love young people, but you may not know how to connect.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And you could learn, but if you have been stubborn and not been taught how to be taught.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If you're not open for learning, you're going to miss it.
Yeah,
Listen, my story is a crazy story. I was the kid on the street, left school with an attendance certificate, had a terrible attitude, all of that stuff, and had to be broken, had to be remolded, had to shift to start having an appreciation for growth. I remember when I bought my first laptop, I remember pressing the buttons by one because I didn't do no computer in school. I had to learn. I remember when I got my email, I can remember having to have a dictionary to write out a letter to be able to get the definition of the appropriate word and to spell the word so that I can make this letter up to ask a company for a donation. Man, listen, I've been working this thing. And now I'm like right on the pulse of everything, but I'm looking at, wow, everything's still changing, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
That's good. Now, the thing about it is we're already halfway through our time here on the show. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes, which you came here to talk about, and this wonderful event that's coming up this October.
It's called the Influencers Summit. It's called the Influencers Summit. The percentage of young people in our country that needs to be positively, correctly influenced is at an all-time high. So what we did, we changed our conference. It was last year and the year before. It was called the Children's Ministry Workers Conference.
Right.
And we did it first at the Ministry of Education building in the foyer. And then last year we went to QC in the auditorium, Queens College. We're going back to Queens College in the auditorium. But this year we changed the name. We changed the name to the Influencer Summit. And the concept of it is built around anyone who have an interest in properly connecting with the next generation. That more specifically, children's pastors, children's directors, youth workers, young adult leaders, senior pastors.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I think this should be the biggest gathering of senior pastors ever. You know why? Because their churches are about to die if they don't figure out how to connect with the next generation. Wow. And a lot of times when they do decide to shift over with their approach, they late.
Too late.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When they start changing their dress style, being a little late, they say, oh, pastor, trying to fit in. And it ain't nothing like when you late on a fashion style.
Yeah.
It stands out like, I mean, come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
It's like, you know what? You try and do hard now.
Yeah.
You know, but the Influencer Summit is going to be 2 days. Last year we've only done 1 day. We did a full Saturday. This time we're opening on Friday night at 7 p.m. in the auditorium.
Right.
We have over 15 workshop sessions. Wow, 15 sessions. I have some of the best people who are gifted in their craft, understanding branding, habits of terrible leaders, strategies to win young people, how to recruit in this generation, how to teach so young people can connect with your teaching. I mean, 15 subject matters from experts in the field. I tell people, you get there, it's impossible for you not to get something from it because it's like putting your hand in a bucket of glue. Some of that's going to stick to you.
Yes, sir.
Get in that environment. So the Influencer Summit is open for anyone who believes they're an influencer and they're called to reach young people. And every one of us, parents, pastors, school teachers, youth ministry workers, children's ministry leaders, this is the gathering for you. And it's only going to be 200 people.
Yeah.
Only 200. So this is going to be one of those things that where we're going to run out of seats real fast.
Real fast. Yeah.
Because once again, this is the first time I've done something where a pastor who's really interested in making sure that his church has longevity needs to understand the mind of youth, needs to understand where things are and where it's going. That's what the Influencer Summit is going to be about.
Right. And now, of course, we have persons listening in from the Family Island, Turks and Caicos, and of course, we're in parts of Florida listening to us right now. How can they register? How can they be a part of this event?
Man, I am so glad you asked that. Listen, individuals can email my office at info@ricardomiller.com or go to my website, ricardomiller.com.
Right, that's
but
easy,
you know, Ricardo Miller, man, Ricardo Miller, that guy, right? ricardomiller.com is the spot. You can follow me on Facebook. I'm advertising and posting stuff about it. My new platform on social media is Effective Living with Ricardo Miller. That's the spot. Go ahead and follow me on that today and say, Ricardo, my church. Here's what we're doing. We're going to have tables. We have 16 tables for churches that actually want to block a table for their groups. Okay. So a church can say, man, listen, as a matter of fact, we have a few churches. One church called me and said, can we get 2 tables? No, they asked for 3 tables. I said, I can't give you all 3 tables. I can't do 3 tables. They said, listen, and they just got a new director.
Right.
This director is on fire.
Wow.
Okay, I'm talking about the director came in and said, listen, we're trying to get 3 tables. I said, no, y'all, max I can do is 2 tables, man. This is only 16 tables.
Right.
And that's for sets.
Yeah.
Then we have 16 tables. Then we have individual seatings, which is for persons who are coming just in 1 or 2 persons by themselves. Then we have VIP. Okay. And so someone might say, hey, listen, I'm a VIP. You know, you got reserved parking. You got food at your table straight through. Okay. You got no pies. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
You said an exclusive area. I mean, you're gonna be served for the whole session and so forth. So we got a VIP service because last year I noticed we had some really solid people who came through, and I really didn't like how HIT was laid out because I thought, hey, that person, how they move. If we had a service at another level, they should have been in that area of service. So we giving you a chance. If you want to be VIP, say, Ricardo, I'm interested in learning about the VIP seating or accommodation.
Yes, sir.
Or I'm interested in the group tables. Our church need a table at this summit. Or not only church, schools. Because I made sure all of the presenters, we're bringing in over 30 presenters from the United States. Wow. So we got 2 and 3 people in some sessions breaking down content. And so I told them, this is not only for church. This is for anyone who stands in the front of young people. Yeah. So if you're a school teacher, you can learn from this deal. You see what I'm saying? If you're a nonprofit organization leader, a community leader trying to reach children through a school program or, you know what I'm saying? You can read. So the Influencer Summit, October 11th and 12th, it's going to be on the Queens College campus. Yeah. You can go to my website, ricardomiller.com, or you can follow me on social media, Effective Living with Ricardo Miller. It's going down October
2020. You know, you need a bigger building.
Well, we're looking at the thing about QC. I love what QC is. Incredible people. I'm so grateful for QC and their partnership with this initiative. Thank you, QC. You guys are awesome. But it's a campus.
It's a campus,
and the auditorium can expand in the amount of how we want to sit people. Okay, and then breakout session has classroom mobility. So do you see what I'm saying?
I understand.
So there's room for growth there, and so I really salute QC and its passion for continuing education, and the leaders and leaders, managers, and operators in the different areas. Their QC has been a tremendous blessing to us.
Right, and obviously you put the cap at 200 just to make sure that
so we can plan appropriately to distribute classes. You know what I'm saying? Information packets. When people register, they get their shirts, they get breakfast. We're doing full breakfast. We're doing full lunch. We want to make sure their information, all of their handle packages are in the various sessions. That's for management purpose. We don't want to just say any number. We're going to close it. When it hits its numbers, it's going to close because we want to plan properly. You know, last year we left it open, and we had a little problem. The day before, we had to tell the person who was cooking the lunch, preparing the lunch, oh, we just went up 50 people. You know what I'm saying? That's not really good for business.
Right.
And so we're wanting to make sure we plan appropriately. Now, I tell people, at the end of August, them tables are going to be gone.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Because
especially
there are
after this show.
Yeah, because there are some real proactive leaders out there. There are leaders who are listening to this, and they say, listen, we need to get a table at the summit. And here's the deal. We're going to highlight your table, too. We're going to make sure your church or school is featured at your table. And we're going to put you out there on blast in a positive way to say, listen, this group gets it. So make sure your church or your school is one of those groups that are going to be a part of this meeting. Strategies on how to connect with the next generation. Millennials, youth, middle schoolers, children's ministry, preschool, how everything is changing and how we as adults who are called to connect with them ought to utilize that which have been given to us so that we can have the victory.
All right, indeed. Now, we're running out of time, got a few minutes left. And so is there any information you wanted to put out there before we give the wrap up and give your contact information, all that again?
All I'm saying is, man, we got to do something different to get something different.
Right.
If we continue to be in denial, we're going to find ourselves in a massive crisis when it comes to faith and when it comes to the development. Development, even from the school standpoint, there are teachers who are in the classroom that know their children aren't listening to them. Right. And they've been called to educate, but they're being more frustrated when it comes to teaching in the classroom because these children aren't the same. They are not the same, and you need to understand how to connect. And that's what this meeting is about. Youth leaders, you love the Lord, and you're called to reach young people. But young people today are not like they were 10 years ago. They're not like how they were 20 years ago. So I'm saying, whenever God gives a call, he also gives provision to help with the call. So this meeting has come about to help those who have a very strong interest in making sure that they have success in what they've been called to do.
All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we know you want to be a part of it. So for those who didn't get your pen and your paper, get it now. Or just do what I do. You know, just go to your WhatsApp and just record it. And then you can write your notes later. All right. So just give us, how do we contact you? And then how do we register as well?
Wonderful. Listen, man, you can go to RICARDOMiller.com. That's the easiest way. Now, if you put in Ricardo Miller on any social media platform, Ricardo Miller is popping up. Okay? But the Influencers Summit is going to be trending over the next 2 months because we're going to make sure all of the social media platform. But go to RICARDOMiller.com, or please, every single one of you, go to Effective Living with Ricardo Miller and follow me there today. And tell me you listen to this, and I'll plug in a little gift for your group.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So we definitely want to thank you so much for joining us on this edition of the Youth Perspective. And we look forward to speaking to you before the event so you can give us an update.
Man, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for having me. Bahamas, let's do this. We have the opportunity to change the way we've been ministering or working with young people so we can have greater levels of success. Thank you again for having me.
All right. Indeed. This has been another edition of the Youth Perspective. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for locking it in. And we'll see you on the next one. This is the Youth Perspective.
I'm trying to be great, and I'm on my way, way up, way up, way up. It's never too late, and I'm on my way.
I'ma leave my mark, ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Ready, set.
I hope you enjoyed another edition of the Youth Perspective. Stay tuned for more interviews, more in-depth conversation, great music as we seek to encourage, empower, impact, and uplift our youth of this nation. Here on the Youth Perspective, we'll see you next time right here on the Youth Perspective with Keshagen Jamal.